All right, here's our boy Giannis Antetokounmpo, Shams Charania, the most trustworthy NBA journalist. I don't know what you call Shams, informant, whatever you want to call him. Shams dropped a bomb about Giannis, and it seems like he's going to get traded maybe before the trade deadline next offseason. We'll get all into it. But first things first, my boy Giannis looks absolutely yoked right here. If y'all remember in Dragon Ball Z when Vegeta's in the hyperbolic time chamber and he can't quite get to Super Saiyan 2, but he's like right there in between and he's super slow. Vegeta was a little slower than regular, but he was super strong before he could quite get to Super Saiyan 2. That's what Giannis looks like right here, just absolutely yoked. Just a big old stud. Fear the deer. This guy's a beast coming down the lane. But Shams dropped the bomb. Basically, what he was saying. If we see right here, this is Giannis's response to it. But it says these talks never progressed beyond the exploratory stage. Basically, what they're saying. It just came out today or yesterday. Shams tweet, and it kind of released the information that the Bucks and the Knicks we're in conversations over the offseason to get a trade done for Giannis. And up here, that's what they're talking about. These talks never progressed beyond the exploratory stage. So basically, the Bucks said, I guess Giannis was the one saying, I want to go to the Knicks. Like, that's my number one destination, basically, is what it seems like for Giannis. And then the Bucks kind of got to talking back and forth with the Knicks, and they realized, damn, New York doesn't have shit to trade for Giannis. They're not going to trade us Cat. They're not going to trade us Jalen Brunson. They don't have some plethora of young players or some plethora of draft picks to offer Milwaukee. So that's why that trade, again, never progressed beyond the exploratory stage. If the Knicks were realistically going to get it done for Giannis, if I'm the Bucks, I want Jalen Brunson. I want Cat. You are not getting Giannis from me without trading me at least Jalen Brunson, Cat, one of the two and like 4 first-round draft picks, maybe 5 or 6 if you just want to give me one of those guys. I don't know New York's exact draft pick situation, but if I'm the Bucks, you are not getting Giannis without giving me Jalen Brunson or without giving me Cat. So I guess they couldn't strike a deal that seemed good for. I'm sure they could probably strike a deal that seemed good for the Knicks. The Knicks probably put a package out there and said, this looks badass. And Milwaukee said, y'all can go fuck yourself. You're not getting Giannis without giving me a superstar back. But Giannis, in typical NBA professional style, Giannis said, first of all, I haven't read that story. Following Wednesday's practice. See, I'm filming this video on Thursday. This was just yesterday. When the season starts, I try to get off social media and focus on my craft and the team. That's probably a great thing that a lot of NBA players could learn from Giannis. He says, but yeah, I've said this many times. I want to be in a situation where I can win, and right now, I'm here. I believe in this team. I believe in my teammates. Again, just saying all the right stuff. Milwaukee loves Giannis. I think Giannis loves Milwaukee as well. He brought them their first championship since 1972 or something like that. It's been so long since the Bucks won a title, and Giannis is just saying all the right things, just saying the things that you say when you want to be traded from your team and you love your team, but you just know you don't have a chance to win in Milwaukee. But Milwaukee said, yeah, I believe in the team, believe in my teammates. That's all great, but he doesn't actually believe in you guys. I'm sorry, Milwaukee Bucks fans and teammates and organization. Giannis said, I'm here to lead this team to wherever we can go. Again, just saying the right things. I love that quote. I'm here to lead this team to wherever we can go. Past 3 years, the Bucks have been knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. So, with Giannis as your best player, you're gonna make the playoffs. He's just too fucking good not to make the playoffs. But again, I love that. I'm here to lead this team to wherever we can go, and they can go to the first round 3 years in a row and get knocked out. They have Dame with this torn. I think it's the Achilles. Dame has torn. Bottom line, the Bucks aren't going anywhere this next season except for maybe the first round to get knocked out again. Sad but true. It's definitely going to be hard, Giannis said, but I'm here, so all the other stuff, all the other extra stuff does not matter. He's basically saying, I don't care about these talks about me wanting to be traded, whatever it is, but Giannis did tell the Bucks, he didn't say I hate it here, I have to be traded. He hasn't demanded a team quite yet, but from the Shams bomb, it seemed like he was going for the Knicks. That's kind of where he seemed like he wanted to go. Not to say that's his only location he wanted to go to, but they obviously kept things under wraps. Him and his agent kind of went back and forth with the Knicks, and they couldn't strike a deal, mainly because New York doesn't have anything to offer Milwaukee unless they traded Cat or traded Jalen Brunson. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But moving on, 3 years straight, Milwaukee's been knocked out in the first round. Giannis is a patient dude. Giannis is an absolute animal. You have a chance to make a deep playoff run as long as Giannis is on your team, but he can only do so much, and he can't drag. You can't drag this group without Damian Lillard very far. And even when Damian Lillard was there, it wasn't what we all thought it was gonna be. Everyone's thinking, it's gonna be an awesome pick and roll match. Maybe Giannis can run the pick. They can run an inverted pick with Giannis and have Dame pop out. Giannis just isn't a big pick and roll player, and with having Dame there, it really, the fit just did not work out nearly as well as we thought it was going to work out. So, with a healthy Dame, the Bucks aren't championship contenders. Without a healthy Dame, the Bucks really aren't championship contenders at all. Giannis, Milwaukee doesn't own any of their first round picks until 2031, so that's 5 years from now. Giannis is going to be 35 years old. He's not trying to wait 5 years for the Bucks to draft a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old, then wait for them to develop that guy. And then by the time Giannis is 40 years old, maybe the team is finally built around him again. Giannis is not trying to wait for that. But here's some more news after participating in Euro basketball, missing time due to COVID-19, blah blah blah. However, how long the dominant forward will remain in Milwaukee is unclear. I don't know he missed time due to COVID. I guess Giannis had COVID pretty recently, but he seems like he's gotten well. The Greek freak, 30 years old. Again, he's only 30, so he's right in the middle of his prime. He's a basketball god right now. He's going to be a basketball god for like the next 2 or 3 years, and he probably has a good 5 to 7 years of just really high level play that he can still give a team. But recently he said he wants a second title to cement his legacy and emphasized that it would be a disservice to the game not to compete at the highest level every year. I love Giannis so much. Who doesn't love Giannis? If you're a Giannis hater, you just hate basketball. Yeah, Giannis is saying, again, I love that quote, like a lot of Giannis's quotes, he said it's a disservice to the game not to compete at the highest level every year. So it's just a tough one. Giannis basically said, he didn't say this, but he's kind of saying it's a disservice to the game not to compete every single year. So he's basically saying it's a disservice to me for Milwaukee not to build a championship contending team around me because I'm a top three, maybe a top two player in the NBA. And if you aren't going to put a championship team around me, I'm going to ask to get traded. I'm trying to go to Houston or San Antonio, the Knicks, whichever team is going to put him in the best position to win a championship. And I just love it from Giannis. Some people get mad at players for this type of thing. LeBron kind of started the player movement, player empowerment era, and I love LeBron for doing it. To be honest, I didn't like Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. I didn't so much like LeBron going to Miami and building the super team, but LeBron did it for a great reason. If we're thinking back, LeBron was in Cleveland for 7 years straight. They never assembled a team that was even close to winning the championship around them. Yes, they made the finals in 2007 just off of a godlike effort from LeBron. He dragged them through the Eastern Conference Finals against the Detroit Pistons. It was game 5. He scored like 28 points straight. That was probably the most amazing live basketball performance I've ever seen, even till today. But basically, Giannis is kind of where LeBron was at. He's saying, y'all aren't going to build a championship contending team around me. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, look at me. I'm loyal. I'm a good employee. I'm a good soldier. Giannis is saying, y'all aren't capable of building a championship contending team around me. Yes, we did win in, I want to say it was 2020 when they won. He's saying, yes, we did win, but that was 5 years ago. We've made the first round 3 years in a row and been knocked out 3 years in a row. Giannis is saying basically, I've been patient. I've been waiting for y'all to get this together around me, and y'all haven't been able to do that. And just time for Giannis to get out of there. I think really strongly he will be traded. Again, I think I mentioned it earlier, but Milwaukee, they don't have any of their first round picks until 2031. So Giannis is not trying to sit around, turn 35, like I said before, then draft a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old who's going to take 3 or 4 years to develop into an actual star level player. So, Milwaukee, they just don't have their picks around them. They don't have anything besides Giannis to leverage as a trade. to put another star level player alongside Giannis. I want to say Dame Lillard has a no trade clause, but even if he didn't, Dame Lillard's trade value is at an all-time low coming off the torn Achilles, so you can't really leverage Damian Lillard. I'm just waiting for Giannis to say it himself. It's still kind of under wraps, but this came out that he was basically asking or saying New York is a preferred trade destination of mine. He never said, this is the only destination I want to go to. I just want to go to New York. But what Giannis needs to do is say, I just want to go to Houston or I just want to go to San Antonio. Just kind of think it through in his head and decide, this is the team I want to go to. Just name one team. I'm a Spurs fan. Hopefully it's San Antonio. I'm kind of iffy about getting Giannis. I don't want to mortgage away our whole future to get him, but if we get Giannis next to Wemby, we're basically competing for championships these next 5 years. Kind of the same thing for Houston, but what he needs to do, just say, I want to go to the Spurs, I want to go to Houston, or insert whatever team you want to insert here. That way, you take away the Bucks leverage in the deal. And Giannis says, I'm only going to re-sign. I'm only going to re-up my contract with San Antonio. We'll use the Spurs as the example for this. I only want to go to San Antonio. I'm not re-signing with any team besides San Antonio. San Antonio knows they have the leverage. Now they're going to trade away as little as they possibly can to get Giannis. So they trade away as little of their draft picks, as little of their all-star level high-value players. So they make that trade, bring Giannis into the team, and now that Giannis is here, he already said, I only want to go to San Antonio. So that kind of watered down the trade package. So once Giannis gets to San Antonio or whatever team he wants to go to, he gets there, and they still have some of those all-star, just high-level players. They still have some of those draft picks left to help build around Giannis in the next 5 years, however long it is. If Giannis just stays out there and he never says, I only want to go to San Antonio, I only want to go to Houston, I think he's going to make that announcement. I don't know about soon, maybe before the trade deadline, but I think he's going to make that announcement and say, I don't know what team, would it say San Antonio, Houston, whatever team you want to say, but that's the next step. That's what he needs to do. Just say, this is the team I want to go to. This is the only one. That way that waters down, what Milwaukee gets in return, which sounds kind of messed up to Milwaukee, but Giannis should not, I'm not saying he shouldn't have any love for Milwaukee, but he shouldn't care about that. Just water down that trade package. That way, whenever the Bucks trade you away, whatever team you land on, they still have a bunch of those talented players. That way, they don't lose these talented players trading for you and make that situation you get to, harder for you to compete for championships. But that's the next step for Giannis. Just announce what team you want to go to. I'm hoping he does that sooner or later here. Again, I'm a Spurs fan. We'd love to have Giannis. It just depends on what we'd have to trade away, and I'd be kind of iffy about wanting to get him right now. I just have to see how the trade package would look because I want to keep those young players around Wemby, but at the same time, if we trade for Giannis, we're competing for a championship that season. Whatever team Giannis gets traded to, they're competing for a championship that exact season. As soon as you get Giannis, you're a competitor. But I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully, he makes the announcement of what team he wants to go to, and then we can kind of see how those trade packages look and just see what happens with Giannis. But the cat's out of the bag. Shams dropped the bomb saying we all kind of thought it was happening. We thought the Bucks were shopping Giannis and trying to see what could happen, as far as a trade for him goes. But Shams tweeted it out. He said it's official. In August, they were trying to make a trade happen with the Knicks. It couldn't happen, and now, we're into step 2 to see what happens next with Giannis. But I wish Giannis the best. I do like Milwaukee. I was really happy he brought Milwaukee a championship. I don't look at the Bucks as some, grade C, some super low tier organization. I think they're, I wouldn't say very good, but I think they're a solid, competent organization in Milwaukee. But there's at that point if a team decides this player can't help me win anymore and they trade the player away, nobody blinks an eye. Nobody looks twice at that. But at this point, Giannis is at the point where he decided Milwaukee can't help me win anymore. I need to trade my way out of Milwaukee and get into a better situation. I think once he gets traded, Bucks fans are still going to have all the love for him. He helped the Bucks win a championship, the first one in like 50 years. So, Giannis is always going to have the keys to the city in Milwaukee, and they're always going to have love for Giannis. kind of just like how most of San Antonio still has love for Kawhi Leonard for helping us win a championship, even though things got kind of messy at the end. But please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers. Please let me know what you think about the Giannis situation and where you'd like to see Giannis get traded to. Peace.